Today has been a very, very tough day.
Stressful a bit.
A little bit stressful. I'm not loving how today's gone.
Get into it.
So we did an interview, probably one of our biggest guests of all time. We did this interview. It was set to drop today. And last night, up into the wee hours of the morning, while I was sound asleep.
Wee hours, mind you.
Yeah.
The full wee.
Yeah. Henry and the guests were going back and forth on, you know, what the thumbnail looked like, what the episode was like, what the clips looked like, et cetera, et cetera. And eventually the guest essentially backed out and wanted to not drop the interview. Some of the reasoning was he didn't like his outfit. He felt that he was not high energy enough.
Spoiler alert, it's a male. You dropped the pronouns, so, but you know.
I think 90% of our audience and guests are male, unfortunately.
What's up, bros?
We did have a whole female, ladies week, but that was short-lived. But
we should do it again, though.
We definitely should.
That was hard.
Because the women are killing shit.
Killing shit.
But no, so to get back on track, we basically had to scramble. Last minute.
Because we've been doing this for 2 years and we've dropped an interview every fucking Thursday for 2 years.
So we were not about to let some clouded up producer fuck that.
You're giving them a lot of hints now. But
God dang.
But yeah, no, we weren't about to miss that. So yeah, we had to go in the archives and.
Thank God we had those.
Well, I said that we lost them and then found them to make it like
Which was
cool.
a complete lie.
Now I'm admitting that we actually had them the whole time.
Yeah, so we had some interviews in the tuck. We did some backstage interviews at a big event here in Atlanta, Beer and Tacos, and we interviewed, like I said, Tony Snow, Damani, who's T.I.'s son, super dope artist, and then Ray Daniels, who's one of the most entertaining music executives in the game right now.
And podcaster.
The God Show is his podcast.
Goats and underdogs.
But yeah, so I think you and I had slightly different reactions to this whole situation that unfolded.
Both pissed.
Super pissed.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think that, my approach would have been, all right, this guy's asking us to not drop the interview. And my response was basically, fuck you.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word.
Drop the bomb.
It was basically.
Funk flicks.
I wanted to really come at it with the approach of like, hey, man, appreciate it if you don't want to support it, if you don't want to promote it, if you don't want to tell a goddamn soul that we did this interview.
And we did offer to cut out any parts that maybe, were undesirable. We were down to edit it.
Super flexible, I felt like, on our end.
And it went super well. The day of recording. The day of recording, there were no complaints.
It's a great interview.
I think it's an awesome interview.
Like we're self-aware enough to know when an interview did not go well. We have some interviews in the tuck.
We have some bad ones
that are maybe, not going to be the best interviews.
Yeah.
But my philosophy was, you know what? We coordinated it. We hosted you, we prepared, we paid editors, we bought, drinks and, stuff to provide for you to have a good time. And I was basically like, it's our fucking content. We're dropping this shit. That was my approach.
It was very aggressive. I had to bring you back down to earth.
Well, I woke up to 30 text messages that were going on in the hours between 12 a.m. and 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I wake up at 7 and I'm like, what the fuck has happened overnight?
For me, it's not worth burning a bridge. It sucks, and we eat a huge L. We lost a lot of time out of our lives. We lost money that we've paid editors. But, if people want to be like that, people are self-conscious. I get it, People maybe don't like how they look on camera, but it's you, man. It's just like, be you. It's fine. Like, we thought it was fine. We've been doing this. We've done a lot more interviews than you have.
Yeah.
So we know, like, if it's okay to just let something fly. And just moving on from there, man. He was talking about a reshoot, but I don't think we're gonna do that.
That was what I was gonna bring up. He really did was like, yo, if you want me to reshoot it, like,
because then this shit's just gonna happen again.
I was like, no chance.
Yeah,
that was like a no chance response. Yeah. Like, actually, we didn't respond yet. Should we respond?
I'm team ghost.
Yeah, I don't love that approach. I do think that's slightly unprofessional, but we're kind of combating unprofessionalism, obviously, from their end.
Damn right.
So anyways, the point of this episode,
let's get to the good, positive side.
We interview, like I said, a lot of, music executives, but we also interview artists, producers, songwriters, engineers, et cetera, kind of the whole music industry spectrum, right?
Whole kit and caboodle.
Yep. To give you guys a, really full grasp on like what's happening in the space. Something we've been talking about is just the continuing problem of artists and producers getting paid from streaming.
It's ass.
So we wanted to break it down really more so from the producer's perspective.
Yeah.
Henry's a producer engineer. So
I have more to say on the topic.
Yeah, exactly. So we were like, look, streaming revenue fucking sucks.
The worst.
Let's get creative. Let's brainstorm. Let's think on this together, guys. Like, we can do this. Let's think of alternate ways to make money in music.
Let's get paid as a producer, man. There's nothing more offensive than getting a royalty statement that is single digit dollars.
It can't pay for your fast food meal.
Bro.
It's sad.
Especially with inflation. Like, with inflation, why isn't my check inflated? What the fuck's going on here?
I paid $20 for Five Guys the other day, and it was just unreal.
Oh, you should see some of my Uber Eats.
I don't want to.
Sad, especially if it's my one meal of the day, like late night.
Yeah.
Bro, we're talking $50-$60.
For sure. That's unreal.
Smash it.
Yeah. So we made up a list before we got on here. We just literally brainstormed this before we got on camera, and we were like, look, let's share some ideas that we have. Y'all drop some fucking comments of other ideas that you have, because like we're trying to figure this shit out with you guys. Like once again, I'm trying to help Henry here.
I want to get paid.
He's trying to help you guys. We're all trying to help each other.
We want to get our producers paid. We want to get, if you're producing music out there, you deserve money for your talent. So, and Spotify and Apple Music aren't giving it to you. So let's figure it the fuck out.
Exactly. So first on the list, a lot of YouTubers and podcasters like ourselves even, thank God you're a producer, so you basically did this for us, but they have intro music. They have music throughout an episode, throughout their content.
Yes.
Producers can approach these YouTubers, approach these podcasters, approach these content creators with, hey, I know that you need music, you need, beats, etc. for your content. Let me help you. Yeah. I'm your fucking guy.
Yeah. Especially if you approach them, it's like, it's better that, if someone who approach you, it seems like they're actually, invested or at least slightly interested in what you got going on, which is better than hiring a random person that probably doesn't give two hoots.
Two hoots. Not one, but not two hoots.
Shout out OBO.
So I think the best way to approach them is exactly what you were kind of alluding to. I think you need to, reference an episode or a piece of content that you saw. Maybe comment on either the music didn't necessarily fit the vibe, or maybe there was no music.
Yeah.
To be honest, we're not even the greatest at, in your producer, we should probably up our game if we don't always have music.
Fire intro.
We do. The intro is fire. Don't get me wrong. Okay. But, content itself can always have music, and that's going to always add a different element to it. So just comment on, something that you saw. Share some of maybe your work or some ideas on the type of music that you think would fit well for their channel, and just shoot your shot and shoot 1,000 shots, to be honest, because it's going to be a numbers game at the end of the day.
And the other way of going about it is approaching companies who lease out music to YouTubers. Sometimes a YouTuber will just go to websites, these companies that just have huge databases of, leasable, licensable songs. And you can even just batch potentially put a lot of your shit on these websites, and they'll move them for you. So
exactly.
That's a nice way to do it.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, we're fully aware that these are not the sexiest revenue streams. Like, everyone wants a platinum plaque with Drake.
We're trying to pay the rent over here.
Exactly. We get it.
We're not buying Lamborghinis.
Approaching the licensable platforms for YouTubers that, we get it. It's not as sexy as a Drake placement. But like I said, this episode is devoted to we're trying to figure this shit out. So number 2, you came up with this one, I think, loop/drum packs. Speak on it.
Absolutely, man. You guys are, as producers, you probably make a lot of loops for your own beats. You're putting melodies together. And when you make a loop, you have a lot of options. You could make one beat yourself with the loop, or you can send it to 1,000 people who can maybe make 1,000 beats. And all of those you have the opportunity to be a part of and collect revenue from. So sending out loops just in general is a dope. You can go back in your old beats, open up old sessions. And if you thought the melodies were fire, just mute the drums, export the loops, the melody stems, and you got a loop. It's super easy if you backed up your shit and you still have all your files.
Yeah.
And then drum packs, every producer is hoarding and just making all the best drum collections that they can. Put your favorite drums into a pack, label it nicely, come up with a nice little cover art that, looks like something clean, sell it for maybe $5. Maybe it goes crazy. And you might not make a ton of money, but again, we're trying to pay the rent over here.
Yes.
And these are things that are potentially already just sitting on your hard drive collecting digital dust. So why not make some money?
That's the worst kind of dust.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. So you can also put those up on like Splice or other Looper Man.
Looperman is free. Anyone can make an account and do that. Splice is a little more, they're selective of who they want to do.
Okay.
But if you have some clout or you just have a great pitch, maybe hit up Splice. Absolutely. I'm still trying to get a pack on Splice. Splice, hit me up.
Yeah, for sure. So the next one I wanted to talk about was making beats for like film and TV. All right. So there's multiple ways to do this.
AKA sync licensing.
Sure. Yes. Yeah, exactly. So that's the like industry term. Okay. But
we want to lay that out there.
Yeah. No, that's helpful for sure. So there's a few options here, I think, right? What I've heard is that you can, of course, approach music supervisors directly. So a music supervisor is basically the person that's responsible for
selecting which music goes into the project.
Exactly. So you can literally look them up on like LinkedIn, on the internet, and you can just hit them up. And once again, it's all about how you approach them, do your fucking homework on maybe what they've worked on, compliment them, show value on like how you might be able to help them, make their life easier, right? Like this is all about.
That's just sales 101 too. Like you do need to, any of these, you need to make it feel like you're adding value to someone's day. You're helping someone out in their job. You'll have a lot better results if you're approaching it that way.
Yeah, stop taking the what's in it for me approach and what's in it for them. Exactly. So you can approach them directly. Similar to what you've talked about, there's actual like sync libraries, right? Is basically what it's called. So you can, research those. There's tons of different options, right? You can upload your music, and music supervisors can just log on there, and that's where they get a lot of their music from, because they don't want to have to deal with you and a bunch of other producers or other songwriters, other artists hitting them up directly. They just go for stuff that's already approved and basically ready to clear immediately, because they got to move quick, right?
Yes.
Like they got to move really fast. They're not always, gifted the luxury of time to like put together this master score for their film or TV episode for months and months and months.
Hit the
right?
database, and they got to type in a keyword, and hopefully you tagged your shit correctly, and it pops up, and then hopefully it's fire.
Exactly. And so then I think the third option I've heard about is basically sync agencies.
Yeah.
Right. So essentially there are companies who represent producers.
You have an agent who pitches your beats.
Exactly. So they are supposed to have, of course, better relationships than you do with the music supervisors themselves, right? Cool. So they're constantly getting, newsletters, or I can't remember what the fuck they're called, but basically they're getting like, they're receiving what it is that the music supervisors are looking for.
Requests.
Yeah, like cue sheets and shit. I don't know what the fuck it's called. Some like industry term. But basically, they're getting all those requests from the people that make these decisions. So if you find the right sync agent or sync licensing company, basically they're going to pitch your music. They're going to kind of know what it is these people are looking for, and you can maybe serve them exactly what you have that meets what they're looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think most people get really intimidated by this because they want their song on like a Netflix show or a HBO show, whatever. There's a ton of independent filmmakers and like TV producers, etc.,
with budgets
that have, at least, once again, we're trying to pay the fucking rent here.
Yes.
We're not trying to buy a boat off of this sync license necessarily. We're trying
These
to
tips aren't for Metro Boomin.
No. No.
You bedroom guys, man, cooking up heat that don't get the recognition.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that, these are great opportunities for you to just like look up small films. Like there's a bunch of like small film festivals. You can go to those, for example. Like you can meet the people in the industry. Like do your homework. You don't got to always swing for the fences. I'm not saying don't hit up Netflix and HBO people too, but like,
maybe,
definitely look at some of the smaller folks in the industry. You know what I mean?
What else?
All right. I don't even know number 4, I think. Learn how to engineer / have a studio / recording hourly.
I went crazy with the slashes.
There was a bunch of slashes on this note.
On that one. This is the approach I took. So when I learned how to produce, I was simultaneously learning how to engineer. I learned them at the same time. I work in Logic, which is a great program if you do both. But whatever you do, whichever program you use, everybody needs an engineer, man. And holy shit, the most valuable way to get your beats into the hands of artists is to also be able to record them, have a place to record them, maybe be able to mix on top of that, and provide these other services that are just a little more rare, man. A lot of people make beats. It's a very sexy thing to do. Engineering, not so much, but that makes it that much more valuable. So, and a lot of people don't realize that engineers are the ones playing beats a lot of times. A lot of times an artist goes into a session and says, play some beats.
Sneak your fucking beats in.
If you're an engineer, like, I'm playing my shit first. Like, check this shit out right here. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Does it sound like shifting your career path completely? Like, a little bit. I get it. But I just think if you're a producer and you want to make the best song possible, these are skills that you need to know anyway. These are valuable things. You want to learn the engineering language anyway, just to be able to talk to an engineer and tell him to roll off some of the highs off the vocal there. It's too bright, or there's a little bit of mud in those keys, and just shit like that. Like, it's valuable to learn, and you can make money off of it a lot easier. I did both. I started learning both at the same time, and I made money from engineering a lot faster than I made money from producing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Once again, we're talking about how we're paying the fucking rent and the light bill here.
I'm keeping the lights on.
Yeah.
Right now.
I mean, hourly.
And we got hella
recording.
lights in here. So
Yeah, Jesus, the power bill here is crazy. Thank God we got solar. Yeah, we had another one, but I want to skip that one because I'm not really a fan. All right, one price exclusive beats. Speak on it. What
this is a cool one. This is a cool one.
All right, talk to me.
I want to say I learned this one from One More Time alumni Adam Ivy.
Okay.
And to me, it's just a genius kind of sales move. Like, yes, you could have a beat store. We'll touch on that. Beat store, very valuable.
Coming soon.
But kind of a interesting flip on a way to sell your beats is having an email database. So we admittedly suck at this. We haven't even really
We're
started.
trash.
We should have an email database.
We're not good.
All these social media platforms could disappear tomorrow, and then how are you reaching all your people?
We're fucked.
Start an email database. Get a giant database of artists that at least kind of like your beats or love your beats or whatever, or maybe or just people that you think might like your beats that don't even know you yet. And it's basically the method is you send one beat. I guess you could send more than one, but
No, let's say one.
One beat.
Yes.
One price.
Yes.
Exclusive only.
Right there.
First person to buy it gets it. So it has this time element. If you know anything about sales, putting the pressure on people to like buy now or like one day sale or like Black Friday, it's all the same shit. When there's this like feeling of, oh shit, if I don't buy it now, I might lose it. People are a lot more inclined to buy. So consider making one fucking banger beat. You send it to everyone on your list, and the first person to buy it at your exclusive price, and this is exclusive, they own the rights to it, so you could charge a decent amount for it. And I think you'd be surprised the type of sales you could get from that method.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's fire.
We're dropping gems.
Yes. No, I love it. I mean, I'm feeling like I could maybe make it as a producer right now.
Ben's about to learn.
I might start making beats.
He's gonna get a cracked version of FL Studio after this.
There's so many revenue streams at this point, right? All right, so moving on. Make music for companies.
Mm-hmm.
So I put this one on the list. So, I still work a corporate job because you guys don't fucking, donate anything to our donation. Like, no, I'm just playing.
Tap the screen if you're on TikTok live right now.
Yes, please, because we
Send a galaxy. We've never had that before. We don't know what it means.
yeah. So, all right. So we, as like corporate America folk, we have all these like fucking training videos, right? Like there's so much content that my company's pushing out and like there's music behind it. So in my mind, I wrote this down because I was like, dude, someone's making the music for these corny ass, cheesy fucking training HR videos. And I was like, look, my producer homies can make this shit easy
Fast.
in their sleep.
Yeah.
And they're going to get paid because my company's got fucking budget for it. You know what I mean? So just don't sleep on, approaching companies, whether it's your, local pizza fucking store and they want to have some sort of jingle for something, whatever. Or if it's a big ass company like I work for and it's like they just have so much content that they're constantly pumping out.
Imagine the guy that came up with ba-da-ba-ba-ba. He's paid.
Damn.
He's paid, bro.
Damn, we need that guy on the pod.
Jingles, bro.
Yes.
That one is less sexy. Just as a producer myself, my immediate thought is like, oh my God, I'm sacrificing my art. I'm making shit that I hate and is corny and lame and whatever.
Yeah.
But also I'm thinking about keeping the lights on.
In my mind, it's dollar signs in the eyes, bro.
It's a struggle, man.
We're trying to get y'all paid.
But we should have a whole episode on like the art versus the money, because so many of these topics that we discuss come back to that. Like, how much do we just love the art and want to make what's in our souls versus how much do we just not want to get a regular job?
Yeah. Which another thing we didn't have on the list is just get a fucking side job. But
get a job.
Yeah, just get another job.
That's one way to make money.
Be fucking embarrassed about it. Like, I work for corporate America and I do this fire podcast that is amazing and, you know, fulfills me. All right, moving on. Something you came up with, ask for an advance. That sounds like basic, bro.
It does sound basic, but I've just seen it multiple times now in my experience as a producer. So this might not be for like the beginner producers, but when you do end up getting a beat with an artist that has, you know, a label or just has some people behind them, whatever, an investor, people are kind of afraid to even bring that up or have that conversation.
Yo, money's the hardest thing for people to talk about, bro.
Thing, especially creatives, man. We're not like always about that life. Man.
I don't even like it as the non-creative. It's awkward.
It is. It's a tough thing to bring up, but like, I won't name names, but you know, I had a placement on a project and I asked for an advance, a nice one, and then I got it immediately. And
thousands.
And another producer on the project hit me up like, "Hey man, like what's up with that?" You know, and I was like, "Yeah, did you ask for an advance?" "No, like I don't know how to do that." "Like, what do you mean? What do I ask for?" Like, you gotta have, if you're not the person to do it, you gotta have someone on your team, at least find someone like a business person that is willing to have those conversations, approach the people in charge and ask for your advance, bro. Ask for some points on the master, even though streaming revenue sucks, which is the title of this episode.
You totally killed that one.
There's just, it would suck to just not make money because you didn't ask for it. So I thought that was worth talking about because as creatives, it is an awkward conversation, but if you're trying to keep the lights on, I think it's important. Try and get more comfortable talking about it, normalize asking for your advance, setting your price, sticking to it. And if you don't get the song, maybe that's okay, because then maybe you get 3 more. Don't be afraid to like miss the placement. Is giving a free beat out for a placement also like maybe valuable though?
Oh God, we can't do that.
Probably
right now.
so.
We can't do that right now.
But don't miss your
I'm saying we can't talk about that right now.
I know that's kind of the opposite of what we're talking about.
Or just like we don't have time for that.
I don't want to unpack that.
Yeah. Okay, next one that we have on the list, content creation. So I put this one down. Basically, we know several producers. I want to shout out our girl Sides, who are actually starting. Sides. So we're starting a company with her, and she's a fire content creator. She is the girl who you've maybe seen on TikTok or Instagram. Here's a super cool Logic Pro tip.
I've learned so much.
Oh my God.
And I've been working in Logic like 3 times as long as her, and I learn new shit from her all the time.
Yes, she's amazing. She's partnered with pretty much every brand imaginable up to the likes of Apple. Like she just got like the newest iPad to show off Logic in iPad and shit. Just crazy partnership. So what she's been able to do is basically continue producing, right? Like she loves producing and making music, but what her niche has been is really creating content for producers like herself. So she started producing just in the pandemic, like literally start of COVID. She was like singing gigs because she's an amazing singer, but she was like, yo, I'm stuck in the house. I can't sing any gigs. I want to start producing. So she basically started making this content, almost like documenting her journey and all the different tips that she was learning that she wanted to share with the world. And so I'm not saying you need to do exactly that, but like making content is a way you can monetize that shit, right? Like she's getting paid. I mean, I was working with her for a bit and she's getting paid thousands of dollars per post because of the audience that she's built only from social media. She does a social media course because she's just crushed it online where people are paying her to learn how it is that she did it, right? So there's multiple revenue streams, honestly, that can come from this one concept of content creation. And the fact that we left it like towards the bottom of the list is almost a disgrace, but like
these were not in order.
No, they weren't, because this should have been at number 1. But yeah, man, shout out to her and people like her who are turning like content creation as a producer into a revenue stream. She could give a fuck about a placement, bro. I don't think she has many, if at all.
Yeah,
to be honest, but she's making more money than both of us.
Getting placements.
Yeah, exactly. For sure. Yeah, for sure. So to wrap it up, I want to talk, or I want you to talk about kind of YouTube, just YouTube in general as a producer. Like, what are the thoughts there? How can we use that shit to get these guys paid?
It kind of piggybacks off what you were just saying with content. It is just another form of content. It's just longer form, and YouTube continues to be the number 1 social media platform in terms of getting paid.
And number 1 search engine.
Number 2 search engine.
Or sorry,
behind Google, which owns
sorry.
YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like basically the same.
Yeah.
Same company, but
I was literally like, wait, what? Is Bing ahead of them?
yeah, Yahoo and fucking Ask Jeeves are in the top 5, obviously.
Oh, Jesus.
No. Yeah, just kind of same thing what you said. Tutorials, cook-ups, whatever your vibe is. That's the beauty of making content as a revenue stream, is it can be whatever you want it to be. Like, have fun with this shit. Whatever you feel like doing, show it to the world. You know, hopefully it helps people, or it entertains people, or it inspires people. And you can get paid from doing what you love. Isn't that what we all want?
For sure. No, I think the goal? Yeah, absolutely. So I think what you said is really key, right? So Sides obviously went the educational, informational, how can I teach you something, et cetera, like that route. But to your point, man, even if you're not the best quality producer, even if you're not making the best beats, if you're entertaining,
yes,
you can build a content creation like machine.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like whatever it is your superpower is, if it's teaching people, if it's entertaining people, if it's
inspiring
people,
I think that's
like
the third one.
If you're motivational about it, like, you know, come on producers, like we can do this, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, whatever the fuck your thing is, you know, hone in on it and start making content, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a hard gig. Like it is taxing, but I promise you, like it can be rewarding. And if you treat it like a fun thing, like you can kind of get into it. You know what I mean?
Let's be real. We're making music and we're getting paid. This is the life.
This is the life.
Let's go.
For sure. So hopefully this was at least somewhat valuable as far as like thinking outside of the box. Like none of these are revolutionary ideas, but we've talked to a bunch of different producers. Henry's obviously fighting this fight daily of like, how do we fucking make money in this game when like streaming's just not paying shit?
Ain't it?
So drop a comment, let us know which idea maybe you hadn't thought of, and give us some more ideas. Y'all need to give each other ideas.
Conversation.
Exactly.
Let's get the gears turning.
For sure. So
shout out all the producers out there, man.
As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. That helps us a lot. And I love this episode, to be honest.
This is good.
Yeah. Until next week, man, what are we doing?
Chugging our drinks.
We're getting the fuck out of here. Peace, y'all.
Pop that shit like one more time. And pop that one more time. Pop that shit like one more time.